What's going on, everybody? Welcome to The Obsession. I'm Carl Bethke.
I'm Mike Sadler.
Mike.
Yes, sir.
Got a question from Todd today. Todd listens to us all the time. Was real successful last year. Shot a buck.
Awesome.
On property. Using some of the techniques that we talk about. Appreciate you listening, Todd. Thanks for listening. Todd's question is, obviously not all 4.5-year-old bucks have headgear of 130 plus. What's your opinion on taking an animal like this, a buck which is older without headgear, because some bucks will never get above 115 to 120 inches? So, what are our thoughts about taking older bucks, or do we target older bucks, or do we target headgear? It's questionable. What are our thoughts about taking older bucks that have
We
less
normally
headgear?
target, obviously, headgear.
Yeah.
That's what we always have said.
But, reason for that is our deer don't get that old.
No.
But we have shot deer that are older. I shot, that gnarly beast down in the basement there. Mm-hmm. I shot on Halloween.
Yep.
He's got a rack that's probably 70 inches.
Yeah, he don't score nothing, but he's cool as hell.
And dressed out 247 pounds.
Old, big, heavy. The rack's heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a hard question for us to answer probably, because we're those two guys that, we see it, we're like, yep. And that's what it is. And it sounds, but that's how simple it is. We see that, and we're like, I'm hunting that deer, or I'm going to shoot that deer, and I'm not looking anymore.
No.
Obviously, with the scouting and the assessing we do, we normally know they're there.
Yeah.
So those are deer we'll target. We'll target those older deer, but it's going to be because they're cool.
Right.
And they don't have to be big.
No.
To us, we've always said, the animals we're going to shoot are going to go on our wall.
Yeah, if I shoot a buck, I'm going to put him on the wall.
That's one thing we've always done, always have done. So, score means zero to us. And so it's hard for us to answer. I don't know if that is an answer for you.
Right.
Because if that's a cool deer and he's old,
yeah,
buddy, I'm going to shoot him, or I'm going to try to.
Yeah, here's the for instance. So that particular deer was Halloween. It's hunting the kill corridor. I call it right by my place. 6 food plots in a row along the bottom edge of a hillside. The only other person, I've taken Mike and maybe 1 or 2 other people there. This deer comes, and I looked at the rack for a second. I'm like, what is... at first he looked just like a fork, because that one side is that tall, and it's a fork.
Yep.
And then the other side is only that tall, and it's got 3 or 4 weird kind of... But it's that heavy.
Yep.
But the first thing I noticed about that deer is the body. Mm-hmm. He comes to that edge where one step stood, and I'm like, oh my God. I look at the rack for a split second, I'm like, that deer comes down here, I'm killing him.
Yeah. Big old bruiser.
Yeah. But rack-wise, score-wise, I bet that deer don't score... He doesn't even score 100. Yeah. I'll show you guys a picture of him here. But his neck was 36 inches, 37 inches. Had to get a Saskatchewan mount to mount that deer. And he's mounted on the wall.
Sasky.
But yeah, score-wise, nothing.
Yeah.
Shot a couple other ones over there that are big like that. You shot a couple bucks that are big like that. And you guys can't really see, but Mike's I don't know, what would you call it?
My goofy wall.
The goofy wall is around the corner here, and there's 3 or 4 bucks on that wall that are, they got a club off one side or whatever. The one buck, for sure, maybe I'll video it before I leave, but I'll show you guys. He's just got a club on one side and a great big 5 on the other. Yep. And the corner freak.
Yeah.
Killed him early, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all for us, it's... If that's something cool to us, we're gonna shoot it. It's obviously the older bucks. So you can usually tell.
Oh yeah,
that's an older deer, even if he doesn't have a big rack anymore.
Yep.
We've been after a couple of them at your place, and no success. And they're not huge racked deer. They're good racked deer.
Yeah.
But they're just giant, heavy horned, you know, and we'd love to take those deer out.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
You know, and they're not the highest scoring deer on that property. But I'll tell you this: I know the one in particular. We both looked at him a million times on pictures. We would shoot him in the first chance he walks out.
Oh, ZZ Top, the big 8?
Over the deer that are bigger score.
Oh my God, yeah.
You know, so I mean, if that helps there, I mean, that's not a determining factor for us. It's like, yeah, I want to shoot that deer. I'm going to try to shoot that deer, even if there's a bigger deer.
Right. And I'll be honest. I think, you know, everybody says older deer are harder to hunt, and they are to a point, just because they're more experienced. But the one advantage I've noticed about older deer as they get older, for instance, Twin Towers down there at Tom's place, his core area actually shrunk.
Yeah, their area gets smaller.
Their core area shrinks, and if you're in that core area, I'll be honest, they become easier to hunt.
Yeah, you got a shot. You got a good shot then.
Yep. That was one deer, for instance, Twin Towers. The one I screwed up on, I.
Yeah.
That deer, he did the same thing. He would come on my property, and I am not lying, you guys. This deer would come on my property October, dogs are home. They come on the property October 20th, and he would leave October 31st.
Yep.
And then I ended up getting an opportunity, I don't know, 4 or 5 years in to shoot him at, it was October 21st in the big bull front.
Yeah. Well, you know, same thing here. Landlord, I had him here for 3 years. He was an older buck. Mm-hmm. He was here every day.
Yeah, that's right.
Every day.
And staying on one side of your property.
Staying on one side of my property, but I just couldn't get close enough to him to do it. And a couple times I did. I didn't take the shots. Just situation wasn't right, you know. But it can happen.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he was obviously a cool older deer on a shoot. He had both. He was both. He was old.
Yeah.
He was cool. He was big.
Yeah, he was.
You know, I was old. He was cool. He was big.
Yeah, yeah.
So in those situations, yeah, you know, some of them as they get older, I think they get cooler.
Oh yeah.
I don't care how big they are. But,
yeah.
You know, so it's all to us. It's like if we want to put that deer in a wall.
100%.
You know,
and that's
he's older, cool.
Yeah, that's pretty much the answer we have to give on that one,
Yep.
Todd, because, you know, we're not huge score guys. You know that, and I know you've listened since we started this podcast, and our opinion hasn't changed on it.
And we wouldn't pass up a 4.5-year-old deer,
No.
or one we thought to be 4.5.
Right. That's exactly right. Yeah.
So we're kind of not good answers to that question, probably.
Maybe we're not the finest examples.
Sorry, Todd.
Well, thanks for listening, guys. We appreciate the question, Todd. Hopefully that answered your question. You know, older class deer, we're going to shoot them, 4.5 or older. And rack score wise, if we look at it and we go, yep, it's getting shot.
We like racks and we cannot lie.
That's a fact. Thanks for listening, you guys. Get a chance, check us out on our podcast at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Google Podcasts, or
RSS.com, David.
right on. Or subscribe right here in the lower right-hand corner. Just hit the Reaper. Thanks.
Don't fear the Reaper.
Never fear the Reaper.